Welcome to this free immigration help channel. Today is April 3rd, 2023, and we are getting into the volume 51 of me going through all your comments and questions and answering them. Before I start, I'm going to mention I am not an immigration attorney. This is not a legal advice. All the information that I provide in my videos on this channel are directly from official government sources like USCIS.gov and of course the Department of State. So without further ado, let's start with the first comment from Pranvera Dine. Please, where have to make you Pranvera, if you could please clarify, I don't think I understand what exactly you need help with, so just provide more information and I would be able to address it. Alright, let's move on to Sergey Barcelona. Hi sir, new subscriber here. Sergey, thank you for subscribing. First foremost, I want to thank you for helping people like us. It's my pleasure. Regarding the immigration process, actually I wanted to ask about my mom's petition. I am from Philippines and already 44 of age. My mom, US citizen, petitioned me August 2013. I'm still not married, by the way. I just got documentarily qualified. Congratulations, Sergey. That's great news. F1 category, okay, first priority at NVC as per CAC, and waiting for an interview in Manila, US Embassy. Maybe when will my petition will be current? Is there any other options so it can make fast? Thanks, God bless your channel, more power. Thank you, Sergey, appreciate your kind words. Let's take a look. So you are priority 1, chargeability area, Philippines. So we're gonna take a look. We'll start with the priority dates, the graph B right here. So if we look at the F1 category, Philippines looks like they are right now, as of right now, let's see, 2015 April, and we are in April 2023. So it looks like there is about 8 years. Wow, 8 years of backlog specifically for Philippines. Let's see, when was your priority date? It was August 2013. Wow, so you were way before that. Okay, so I guess this is not updated. I'm assuming this is not updated. And let's take a look at the, yeah, same thing with documentarily qualified. So according to this visa bulletin, this was updated. These dates are back when they were documentarily qualifying it as soon as pretty much the petition was submitted. So it's a little bit confusing. I wouldn't go by the visa bulletin because I don't think it has been updated. And in fact, if you check about a year back, you will see that there haven't been any updates to the visa bulletin. Just one category was recently updated, finally, the F2A category, as of April 2023. So I'm hoping that in the next few months, we'll see the updates, more updated, more current times for the rest of the categories. But because you were already documentarily qualified and because your priority date goes way back to August 2013, I am gonna say that your visa should already be available. It should already be available, if not anytime around the corner. So anytime around the corner you should have your interview scheduled. But here's the thing, because you are already documentarily qualified and judging by the existing visa bulletin, your visa should already be available. You can definitely submit an expedited request with the NVC. I have a video that I've made earlier, probably like a few weeks ago, on how to submit an expedited request with NVC. It's very easy. All you're doing is you're sending emails. So I would definitely recommend doing that because you meet all the requirements. So if you can speed up the process, why not take advantage of it and give it a shot? It's not gonna hurt. So let me know if that works out, because if it does, I mean, that would be nice. Don't be disappointed if it doesn't, because whenever it comes to NVC, unfortunately, they deny a lot of requests. Whenever it comes to expedited requests, even if it seems to be good, they still deny it, unfortunately. But it's still worth a shot. Alright, let's move on to the next comment from Adesh Gill. Will you please make a video on R1 visa category? Please let us know how to file petition for it. Also let me know, can a non-denominational organization file a petition for R1 visa? Adesh, thank you very much for your question. Also thank you for sharing the good news, sharing the gospel. So whenever it comes to R1 visa category, yes, absolutely, non-denominational or whatever the denomination is not the determining factor. The determining factor is if it's faith-based organization or not. That's it. As long as it's a faith-based organization, then you should not have any problems. But I will definitely make a video specifically on R1 visa, and hopefully in the next few days. I will post it here on this channel. All right, let's move on to the next question from David Success Mason. Hi, thank you for your videos. You're very welcome, David. Thank you for watching. My mom submitted a petition for me in September 2014, and I became documentarily qualified in 2020. All right, congratulations. That's great. My visa category during the time of the petition was F1 since I wasn't married at that time. I waited for 3 years, during which time I got married. My appointment was scheduled for March 27, 2023. I appeared for the interview and informed the counselor that I'm now married. He collected all of my documents and told me that the interview won't be held that day since will need to be changed to F3, and I should keep checking the visa bulletin for my priority date. I later checked my case status and noticed that it was last updated on March 27, 2023, so just recently, a few days ago. Please, can you estimate how long I'll need to wait to get another appointment? Remember, my documents weren't returned to me. Wow! Including my passport. And I may have some trips to make while I await the interview. What should I do? Wow, David, that is a very, very strange situation. First of all, I'm sorry this happened to you. It's strange because it's kind of messed up that they already scheduled the interview, and then you go for an interview and they just tell you to come back. You're already there for an interview. They could have just processed, literally, this is what they could have done. They could have just processed your case as F1, all right, and made you basically petition for your spouse, for your wife, later on your own, once you come to the United States, once you get your permanent residence, and then just file for her in the F2A category as a permanent resident filing for her spouse, all right? And yet they basically undo their own work and they make you do this back and forth stuff. And what's even worse, they are keeping your documents, because if they want you to wait, right, for your immigrant visa to become available, not based on F1 category, but based on F3 category, which is, if you look at the visa bulletin, F3 category is the married sons and daughters of US citizens. And we're gonna go to the priority dates. Let's take a look. So we got dates for filing. We got final action dates. So dates for filing, F3 is November 2009. So November 2009, I'm gonna put you in all chargeability. I will assume in all chargeability. Let's see. And then F1 was 2014. Okay, so for F1, that's correct. So 2014. F3 is about 2008, 2009. So that is about 5 years. So if according to the council, whoever the council is, it sounds like these guys are just weird. Wow. Because according to this council, you have to wait approximately another 5 years before the immigrant visa becomes available for your case. That's the problem that I'm having. How can they keep your documents and then say, oh yeah, go and wait until the visa, because the visa bulletin is not showing the availability, which is roughly 5 years, because as you can see, that is approximately the difference between F3 and F1, roughly about 5 years. All right. So, wow. Okay. I would contact the embassy and I would say, hey guys, I've been in the interview. My documents have not been returned and looks like I'll have to be waiting for some time. So I need the documents back. I think that's what I would do. I would hope that they maybe just forgotten to return these documents to you, and then they will be like, oh yeah, we're very sorry, we didn't give it to you, back to you, you can come back and pick them up, because that's what it sounds like. I hope, because it makes absolutely no sense, like the decision that they made to, well, okay, fine, I understand, maybe they can say, okay, you know what, you're not an F1 category and we are such a bureaucratic, this like stubborn bureaucratic, we're all about the paper, we're all about the rules. Fine, Okay, you're not F1 anymore, you're F3 anymore. So now, for no reason, you have to wait another 5 years. Okay, fine, I can understand that. But why not give the documents back? That I cannot understand. So I would reach out to the embassy, I would try to get the documents back. If you don't get the documents back, I would seek legal help. I would reach out to an immigration attorney. And honestly, because your mom, you know, obviously she's here, she's a US citizen, I would recommend her regardless reaching out to a family immigration attorney, scheduling, because you can find a good, you know, most of the good immigration attorneys, they have free consultation. And, you know, so sometimes from the attorneys, they might not like this, that I say that a good immigration attorney will offer a free consultation. But I believe that whenever it comes to helping people, you want to help them as much as you can without expecting any financial reward. I understand it, but the way I see it, and I think this is the way it should be, is you offer as much help as you want, and then if the person wants to hire you, they hire you and they pay you, okay? So I would definitely recommend finding an attorney like this, going through a few immigration attorney consultations just to get different opinions, because possibly your mom would have to submit some complaints, contact some elected officials here, and basically stir up the pot a little bit, because I don't think you have been treated fairly, and the way they kept the documents is ridiculous. Something is not right. So I definitely recommend reaching out for some more legal help. Sorry that you're going through this, David. Very sorry. All right, let's move on to the next comment from Simone Williams. I'm very thankful for the information you provided here. I hope everything will work out on my path. I'll get some news soon. Keep up the good work. You're helping a lot of people to understand what they didn't. Simone, thank you for your kind words. I hope that it works out for you as well. If you can provide an update, that would be great. And it goes for everyone who's watching, you know, whether my answer was helpful or not helpful. If you have an update and some kind of resolution on your situation, if you can, please, it would be nice if you post it in the comments. And first of all, for me, it's very, you know, it's good and refreshing, because, you know, I get all the time it's problem. Sometimes it's good to see if, okay, finally there is a resolution. Okay, there's a resolution. Okay, this worked out for this person. This worked out for that person. But also for other people who are going through similar situations, who have similar problems, when they see a resolution, it gives a peace of mind. So if you can, I would really appreciate it. All right, let's move on, not watch the next one. Papi says, I can't watch the volume 50, that's why I said watch. Okay, Papi, so I know you already watched volume 50. So the way I do these videos, I record it, right? The processing is pretty quick, the upload takes a little bit of time. That's why the videos go live the day they were recorded at 6 p.m. because I'm recording them, you know, earlier in the day, and by the time they process, by the time they upload, they can go live and I can be in a chat room, you know, without doing anything else, just answering questions if there are any questions. So that's why sometimes you have the video and it's not going, it's just sitting there. That's what Papi was wondering. But yes, okay, let's move on to the next question coming from Joanna Gonzalez. Joanna, thank you for another question. Hello, and thank you for your huge help. You're very welcome. On I-130A form part 4, it asks to check box A or B. If applicable, answer number 2. I'm the petitioner. Do I answer box 1A or do I leave both boxes, 1A box and 1 box B? I'm preparing beneficiary's application. Do I print my name on number 2, which states I prepared his petition online, he signs the form, or doesn't contradict the application? No, Joanna, actually great question. Thank you for bringing this up. But no, it does not contradict. Whenever it comes to the 130A, the supplemental form for the spouses of the petitioner, right, of the U.S. citizen or legal permanent resident, whoever you're filing for, depending your status. Whenever it comes to the spouses, when it's the spouse preparing the form I-130A, you're good. You don't have to count yourself as the preparer. Preparer is only anyone who is anyone that is not a spouse, basically, or the beneficiary themselves. And actually, you know what, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to demonstrate the navigation of USCIS website. And we're going to go to, actually we're not going to go to forms, we'll just type in 130A, because I want to open up the PDF so that you can see. Okay, here we go, there's a PDF file right here. We're going to click on that, we're going to scroll down, it should be somewhere here. Let's see, part 4, here we go. So this is what Joanna is referring to here, the part 4. Well, first of all, whenever it comes to the form I-130A, if the beneficiary outside of the United States, then their signature on I-130A is not required. And it says it right here. If you reside overseas, you still must complete for I-130A, but you do not need to sign the form. Okay, so that solves that problem. But whenever it comes to the preparer, I'm going to show you, Joanna, another important, there we go. I think this is it right here. If you do not completely fill out this form or fill, no, never mind, that's not it. I want to find that specific statement to give you the peace of mind. I further authorize certified copies of any documents. Read the penalties section and instructions before completing this form. Select the box. Okay, I can read English, blah blah blah. The interpreter name, read to me every question, no. A language, no. At my request, prepare this form for me based on upon information I provided and authorized. Okay, let's go to preparer, because I think that's where, that's it. Contact information, declaration, and signature of the person preparing this form, if, there it is, if other than the spouse of beneficiary. All right, so if the person is not a spouse of the beneficiary, then they are the preparer. But since you are a spouse, you don't have to worry about that at all, and technically you can fill out the form for the beneficiary without any problems, and they don't count it as preparer. Okay, sorry, I was a long answer, but I like to sometimes I like to make it clear. If the answer is kind of rough, I say it's rough, but when it's a definitive answer, all right, I like to bring up the source and actually show it from there that yes, it is according to the official government source, all right, USCIS. This is their own form. Okay, let's move on to the next question coming from Muhammad Saeedin. Sorry, it's not 2016, May 2006. Okay, so wow, 10 years. Yes, so 10, that's a big difference. 10 years. So just add really to my very rough estimate based on 2016. Add 10 years to the very rough estimate, Muhammad, unfortunately, which, yeah, it's a long time. Okay, let's move on to, I can't read that, but I know this is Surgut. Surgut, hello brother, I'm Mikey Surgut. My question today is that often I give the DNA, after I give the DNA on August 2022, the USCIS case status was changed to response to USCIS request for evidence was received. Perfect. On September 2022, that's great. I received the DNA result, but it has not changed until today. After that, it has been 6 months. I have not received USCIS decision after DNA. What is coming next? I'm documentarily qualified by NVC. My case information, I-130 F2B. Thank you. I wish you a good day. Thank you very much, sir. Good. Thank you for your question. So what would be helpful for me, if you can provide another comment with the original filing date, right? So the priority date, when the initial I-130 was received by USCIS. That would be a little bit helpful. But we're going to take a look at the F2B. We're going to go to the visa bulletin, and the F2B we have about January 2017, September 2015. So about, let's see, six to 7 years of backlog on the F2B category. So I am thinking if they documentarily qualified you already, then most likely the immigrant visa is already available or should be available anytime around the corner now. Usually, at least that's what it seems the common practice now. Because before, and I mean, I can't really tell you how long before, few years, 5 years, you know, earlier, the way the system was working, they would give you pretty much everything, the opportunity to get documentarily qualified and everything way before the immigrant visa was available, which is not a bad thing. It's, you know, it's nothing wrong. It's just you get through all of the process, you get documentarily qualified, and then you wait for the immigrant visa to become available. Now it seems like they wait up until closer, much closer to the availability of the immigrant visa before they give you an access to an NVC portal, before they can allow you to become documentarily qualified. So since you were already documentarily qualified, since the DNA was already submitted, I think you should be hearing back about the interview pretty soon. Now you've been waiting already 6 months. I would say easily you have another 6 months to wait, because that's what seems like to be like the normal kind of the wait time before the interview after everything is done, between 6 months to a year and a half in some cases. I'm not sure why there is such a huge wait time for the interviews, because I mean you're all done, everything is done, you're documentarily qualified. But I'm thinking it is because we had the whole pandemic situation with the cases not being processed at all. So I'm thinking it's just that stage of, you know, from NVC to the interview, whether it's US Embassy, and again it seems like, you see, whether it's US Embassy or whether it is interview here in the United States at one of the USCIS field offices, right? Because that's what it seems like you're going to be dealing with, is here in the United States and not in the US Embassy. I might be wrong though, it really doesn't matter. But in both situations, people are waiting for that interview to be scheduled. So it seems like it's something with the NVC transferring the case to an appropriate whoever, whether it's in US or outside of the US, for the interview. So anytime around the corner, but again, anytime around the corner, it can be, you know, 6 months plus. So wish you some patience, are good, but on the plus side, you have submitted everything, you are documentarily qualified, which means all of your documents are good. Literally, it's just some patience and then going and taking that immigrant visa or adjustment of status if you're here in the United States. All right, let's move on to the next comment from Joshua. Morning, thank you for the update. Finally got the entry for online updating address. Joshua, I'm glad to hear that. Joshua, I remember your initial comment, you had problems with address not changing, not sending you the notice, but you finally got it. That's great. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Marvelene Needham. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing the name. I am citizen. How long will it take for me to file for my married daughter and her husband? Okay, so married daughter is going to be category F3, third priority category, and because you're a citizen and she's married. So I will try to roughly give you a very rough estimate. There are two process with USCIS and then with the NVC. So we're going to take a look at USCIS first. We're going to go to tools. I'll use it again as opportunity to demonstrate navigation on USCIS website, case status online, and then we're gonna go to USCIS processing times here. Click that. I'm gonna select I-130 petition for alien relative, and US citizen filing for unmarried, US citizen filing for married son or daughter. There we go. And then depending on which service center, it might be different, but we'll do California and Texas, just, you know, to see. So 107 months, and don't let that scare you, because I'm gonna explain why this is such a seemingly huge number. Texas, let's see, 42. Don't let that scare you. Again, don't let that difference scare you. So 107 and 42. Okay, so let's take it to Visa Bulletin now. We're gonna go to, let's see, F3, married sons and daughters, and we're gonna go to the dates of filing. It's going to be F3, November 2009. So looks like there is about 14 years backlog on this visa category. So now, right, I mean, 14 years is a long time. It's a pretty long time. If you have not filed the I-130 petition, I recommend filing it as soon as possible. Don't worry too much about the difference between the numbers in the different service centers, because I had similar questions. Somebody was, you know, complaining that there's like 3 times, 4 times more in a different service center. The reason why it is more is because some of the service centers, like the California Service Center, they wait closer to the availability of the immigrant visa before they start processing the case. Texas Service Center doesn't seem to wait. They only do like 2-3 years. They process everything and they send it. That's why the numbers here are different. But overall, considering all of the process, you are still looking at 14-15 years, judging by the visa bulletin, just because there's a huge backlog on the F3 category. So I would recommend filing it as soon as possible. The sooner you start this process, the better. In the meantime, if you can, just a simple invitation for a non-immigrant visa for your daughter so she could come here with her family to visit you at least. That would be the most reasonable solution. So you start the immigration petition, you're waiting while it is, while the immigrant visa becomes available, and meanwhile you're waiting, at least you have the, the opportunity to, invite your daughter and she comes here and you see her family. And it's taken forever. You see, it's a broken system. It's a broken system. If a U.S. citizen petitioning legally, paying all the fees, going through all the interviews, through background checks, all that stuff, for their daughter, who cares, married, not married, for daughter of a U.S. citizen, a child of a U.S. citizen, and 14 years backlog. It's a broken system. It's terrible. Sorry about that, Marvelene. I wish I could give you better numbers, but this is just what we have as of right now. Okay, let's move on to the next one, to Temo. Temo, thank you being for publicly subscribed to this channel. Appreciate it. Is there any news for those asylum seekers whom applied during Obama's administration and still have no interview confirmation? Wow. Yesterday I got a comment from a lady who was waiting for 15 years, I think she said. And Temo was asking Obama's administration, so that's 2008. Yeah, about what, 15 years? Obama's administration about 15 years ago. Still have no interview confirmation. Temo, I wish I could give you a little bit better answer and give you some better news, but the reason why people are waiting, those people that have applied for asylum back, 10 years ago, the reason why they're waiting is because somebody in Homeland Security decided it was a good idea to start processing the newest applications first that are being submitted now. So if you submit the asylum application now, you will have your interview scheduled within 2 weeks. But the people who have applied 10 years ago, they are just in the limbo waiting. It's ridiculous. The only reasonable, rational solution that I can think about whenever it comes to all those asylum seekers that have been waiting for 5, 10, 15 years, I would just open a path for the adjustment of status, because they have been here for that long. They have been working, they have been paying taxes, they are residents of the United States of America. So the Congress, they need to act on this, because this is ridiculous. And I really hope with my channel, this is part of one of the reasons why I started this channel, is because I want people to know about problems like this, because a lot of people don't realize how broken the immigration system is. Okay, I'm sorry, Temo. I wish I could give you more better something, just offer you better something. You can file complaints, you can reach out to your elected officials, senator of your state, reach out to their office and see if they can, on behalf of you, submit something to USCIS or the asylum office. But unfortunately, as of right now, there's just nothing else that you can do. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Rebecca Hanam. What is Valium? Ah, Rebecca, I know what you're referring to. You're referring to volume. Okay, so sorry for the confusion. So volume is I don't know why I called it that way, but it just started and I kept it that. So like volume 51, this is volume 51, the next is going to be volume 52. So these videos, this podcast videos where I'm going through all your questions and answering them is divided all by volumes. All right, so I apologize for the confusion, Rebecca, but there you go. This is volume 51. There you go. Okay, let's move on to the next one from Navid Chat, giving me thumbs up. Navid, thank you very much. Appreciate the thumbs up. I'm glad this was helpful. Moving further to Donovan Anderson. Seems like people are penalized for doing it the legal way, while the individuals who sneak over the border are enjoying life. That is exactly, Donovan, you're spot on. You're 100% spot on, because that's exactly what I was referring to just now when I was addressing Temo's issue, and whenever I was addressing, literally, look, Marvelene here. Marvelene is a citizen, and she has a daughter who is outside of the United States, which means that Marvelene here is a naturalized citizen, okay? Which means, again, that she went through the whole adjustment of status process, waiting for years and years and years, going through background checks, going through interviews, submitting all the documents, going through the medical examination, which is extremely uncomfortable, that medical examination, all right? Let's just say that. And she went through it. She went through the interviews. She did not commit any crimes. She became naturalized. She studied for the exam. She went through the civics exam. She went through the oath ceremony. And now she's inviting her child. And she has to wait for 14 years. And then her child, after 14 years, will have to go through the background check, will have to go through the interview, through the medical examination, and pay huge fees on top of all of that. Meanwhile, if you jump over the border, you can apply for asylum, and within 2 weeks, you will have your interview and possibly be granted asylum, and that's it. You're here. That's it. You're granted asylum, which means in a year you will become a permanent resident. Meanwhile, Temo here has been waiting since Obama's administration for that interview. That's how messed up this immigration system is. But the reason why it is messed up is because we have people in Congress who do not care about people. They care about themselves. They care about their careers. They care about their pockets. Whenever they make immigration-based, any kind of decision that has to do with immigration, they don't make it based on, this will help a lot of people and this is the right thing to do. No. They make their decision based on, this will give me the most amount of votes. Because if you jump over the border and you become, a permanent resident after a year of being granted asylum, you get your asylum in 2 weeks after you jump over the border. Because if you go through the interview scheduled in 2 weeks and you're granted, that's it. You now have granted asylum status. In 1 year, you can get your permanent resident, and then after that, 4.5 years. You apply for your citizenship and you become a naturalized citizen after just less than 6 years. That's votes. People in Congress care about votes. They don't care about what's right or wrong. They don't care about naturalized citizens waiting for 10 years, 15 years to see their children. They care about votes. That's why the system is so broken. That's why we have a problem. All right, let's move on to the next one from Sergey Barcelona. Sergey, let's see. Yep, I already answered that, so I'm just gonna put the same thing, just letting you know that I answered that. And we're gonna go to the last question for today because it's already over 30 minutes. I spent a lot of time complaining about the Congress, as I usually do. From Masrura Jahin. Can I do an expedite request before my case is documentarily qualified if I have emergency situation? Masrura, you definitely can. There is nothing preventing you, but it's one of the requirements to be documentarily qualified and have the immigrant visa available to submit that expedited request. So most likely your request is going to be denied because you are not documentarily qualified, unfortunately. But again, it does not hurt because you have an emergency situation, so it doesn't hurt just to send that request and see what happens. Just do your best explaining the situation, explaining what's going on, what kind of emergency it is, and see if that works. Again, don't be too disappointed if it doesn't, because like I said, one of the requirements is to be documentarily qualified, but it's not gonna hurt to send that. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope my answers were helpful. If you have any follow-up questions, don't hesitate, just submit them in a separate comment, because if you respond to my comment within your comment, I don't get those notifications on YouTube for whatever reason. But again, I appreciate your questions, I appreciate your time. God bless, and I'll see you in the next video.